Hello everybody, this is DearMamaSal and it's Wednesday morning. Thoroughly overcast here in British Columbia with a temperature of 15, which would make it 59 in northern Washington state. Wow, so that's quite a different temperature, which is why I'm wearing different clothes this morning, because they say it's going to stay like this all day. The exciting part about today is I'm going out to have dinner with a friend of mine after work today, so that's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to that. And we were busy talking yesterday about the excuses that we give, and I've had quite a bit of input actually. I'm very interested in the people that have written to discuss this. Because I'm surprised how many people have written to me and tell me they don't give any excuses at all. Wow. I mean, from the way they were telling me, they don't give excuses at all in their lives, which I find difficult to fathom. I'm not saying that they're not being truthful. I'm saying I find it difficult to fathom. And I was thinking, wow, what an incredibly good way to live, because it means that whatever you process, you can do. So awesome, very good self-control from those people. I was trying to think of some of the excuses I tried to give myself yesterday. Oh yeah. I came home and I knew I'd already done 10 minutes, which was good, because I did it during the day, but I really did want to add another 10 minutes to it. So, but I got a little bit caught up with getting the first part of the video up, because it's quite a process. You've got to move it from the camera to the computer, and then you've got to, anyway, long story. Well, the first bit was getting it from the camera to the computer, so what I did was I got that bit set up and working, and then I just looked at the shoes. I want to tell you, the shoes have been incredibly motivating, and the reason they've been incredibly motivating is because they're slip-on. It's really strange how smart a choice that was. I didn't realize, I when I saw them, they talked to me, but I can really see why, because it's just a case of, you haven't got to go and find socks, you haven't got to go and find anything. You just need to slip them on and go. You're ready to go. And so that's exactly what I did. I slipped them on, and as you know, the big struggle is to actually get from my bedroom to the door. Once I'm at the door, I'm on a mission. When I was speaking to Jenny Jen the night before last, I think it was the night before last. Anyway, so within the last couple of days, Jenny Jen gave me some stretches to do to try and help my groin pull, and they have been helping, but I'm still hobbling a little bit because it's still painful. And when I start out, it's the worst. As the more I walk, it doesn't become pain-free, but it becomes a lot easier. And so when I first start out, you sort of go, wow, this is bad. It feels bad. And then I remind myself that if I just walk quietly, I'm not in a hurry. This whole process about what I'm doing is not about speed. It's not about how fast can you get around the block. It's not about anything like that. It is about, can you go outside and walk for 10 minutes at whatever speed you need to go at. And that, I want to tell you, is incredibly freeing. To know that I don't have to, beat any benchmark that I made for myself. There isn't a goal for this other than get out for 10 minutes and walk. Without stopping yourself with your excuses. So that was pretty good. There was a second thing that was hindering me yesterday. What was the other one? I can't remember now. I know it was the groin and something. Groin in my left leg and something on my right hand side. I'll think about it later. Anyway, so whatever it was on the right hand side of my body that was causing a problem. So it was really quite interesting. I was like, really, I hate to say this, but there were times when I was barely lifting my left leg. Yeah, it was almost scraping, and this, I can't just, it's really good to have you guys in my life, because I just keep thinking to the people where, being able to do what I was doing would be an absolute pleasure. Yeah, I'm certain Erin would be very happy to be able to almost scrape her legs as she walked. You know what I mean? You gotta look about this and see it in perspective. So anyway, I did complete 10 minutes. I think it was 10 minutes and 6 seconds or something ridiculous, but I did it. And so I am very happy about that. But it continued. After I got home, I had promised myself that I would spend the first hour on housework type things, because I've just running a little bit behind, and 2 things that I needed to do. I was busy changing a bulb in my closet over the weekend, and I needed to get the globe thing back on top of it. The only problem is it's in a cupboard, so you've basically got to be a contortionist to get to where it is. And you've got to do that while standing on a step stool and in a dark cupboard. So you need a flashlight. Well, obviously if you've got a flashlight with you, you've lost a hand, sort of thing. So you have to be really careful. And then Leslie Hardy-Bond came up, and she had young Zachary with her. And I said, just the person I need. So we stuck Zachary in the cupboard with the flashlight. His only job was to keep the flashlight on the area that I was trying to negotiate. And I tried valiantly to get this thing going, and I got almost halfway there, and then my Achilles was too painful. So I said to Yvonne, okay, fine, your turn. And Yvonne fixed it for me, so that was great. So no excuse is there, we just did what needed to be done. But I did know that I needed to do some accounts and stuff, and in the meantime, the voices are going, yeah, but you've got to get the blog up. And I went, yes, I do have to get the blog up, but not nearly as much as I need to get my accounts done. And so whilst the next step of the vlog's going, I'm going to start multitasking with my accounts, which is exactly what I did. So I just, as they say, I just did it. I did it whilst I was doing the vlog. But here was the thing that I found interesting. I guess at some level I've always been a little bit scared about multitasking that task, because you want to concentrate on what's going on. And to my horror, there's one account that I have most of my accounts on automatic payment. I find that much easier for me. I work out roughly how much a month each of the accounts takes, and then I put in a regular withdrawal for that amount. And sometimes I have to pay a little bit more, and sometimes I actually end up with a credit. And that's great, because come Christmas, that's the account I don't have to pay. or maybe 2 months before Christmas. So that's part of my savings plan for my Christmas shopping. And talking about that, you do realize September, October, November is 4 months away. Just thought I'd give you a little shout out. A little shout out because I bet you Jen's got more than half of her Christmas shopping done. So this is the time. Jenny's trick is that when she's shopping now, if she sees anything that would be a suitable present, not the best, I get a sense it's not about the best present you could ever buy this person, but a suitable present for that person, then pick it up. And I did that last year, and I ended up in a much better situation. I didn't get all of them beforehand, but I got a few, and it was just made it so much easier, and I really, really do recommend that. All right, so I managed to get all the accounts done and basically sorted out before the vlog finished, which was awesome. But I was, by then, really firing on too many cylinders. I think doing my accounts and doing the vlog at the same time overstimulated my brain at some level. And then I could not relax. I was going and going and going. And I just found it really difficult. So what I did was eventually, when I thought, this is insane, I need to stop and relax. What I did was I went onto YouTube and I found myself some meditation music. I managed to find an 8-hour one, and I just put that on to help me A, get to sleep, and secondly, stay asleep. And it did pretty well, because I think I only got up once. And that's unusual for me. I normally get up twice in a night. So it did a good job. So my excuses were less, but there were still some there. And I just really interested in how you guys are doing, whether you're noticing a shift. And of course, the other thing is, are we going to make this a permanent thing in our lives, or are we going to do this as a passing fad? Now, I know that we revisit a lot of these subjects over the course of each year, and that's good, because it's just like a tune-up. You take your car for a service every now and then. Why? It needs a tune-up. It's not that you can just do it once in its lifetime and it's going to be fine. Every few months you need to put oil in it. You need to check the tires. You need to put gas in it. So that's why every year we will revisit a lot of the same subjects, but because we could have fallen back into bad traps again. However, I want to give a big shout out to those viewers, and there have been quite a few of them, who decided to take me up on the challenge. And I really am very touched by those of you who decided to support me in this by doing your own version of it. I can already, by the way, in my head, hear my voice saying, well, you won't be able to do it today because you're wearing shoes with heels on and you've got to go out to dinner. And by the time you get home, you're going to be dog tired and it's going to be late. And then I said back to my brain, the heels on these shoes are those squat ones, they're not stiletto heels. They are the sort of chunky ones. I think that's what I call them, chunky. And there's absolutely no reason at all why I cannot do 10 minutes walking in chunky heeled shoes. And that's all I have to do, right? 10 minutes. I do not have to do half an hour. And so I can do this. I know I can. If I choose to. And I choose to. I've actually found the time that's best for me to go to a walk is about 11:30 in the morning. I don't know why, it just works really well. It's about then I really do enjoy that break in my day for 10 minutes. Good stuff. I'm trying to think. There are quite a few of our viewers who could do with thoughts and prayers at the moment. And some of them on a confidential level, so I can't share that with you, but what I thought I would do is ask those of you who are good into the thoughts and prayers side of this, just to put out some general thoughts and prayers for the viewers as a whole, and maybe that way we can cover it. I burst out laughing. I don't know if you guys saw it on Facebook, but Nana sent me an incredible picture of Rick standing next to what apparently was a sunflower. The only thing is, it looked like Jack and the Beanstalk. I mean, this thing went up like 1.5 stories of his house. It was just amazing. So I have no idea what they're feeding that thing on. But whatever they're feeding it on is good stuff, because I mean, I've seen some pretty interesting looking sunflowers, but that one looks really good. And then if you looked, beside him, every other plant that he had near him looked just as big. So I'm going to have to find out what they feed their plants, because it's obviously some growth stuff. And then the other thing that really was so cute was Chloe had written to me earlier in her day to say that it was an overcast, miserable day in England, and she decided she was going to have a picnic in the living room with her daughter Amelia Rose. Well, first of all, just the very idea of having a picnic in the living room, appealed to me. I think that's such a wonderful thing to do with a child. It's like tenting. Because, I think if ever there is a demonstration of the journey is the reward, it is things like that. It's getting ready for the picnic. What should we take for our picnic? Have we got a blanket? And the blanket was so cute. Have we got a blanket? What are we going to drink? What are we going to eat? Oh yes, and how about we take this as well? And so, you could just. What I love about Chloe is she appears to make everything that she has to do a fun thing. And when you are constantly in pain and dislocating bones on a hour-by-hour basis, to have that sense of fun, when it must be so much easier to say, oh, I don't feel like doing this today. I want to tell you, I said somebody talked to me about they were trying to do a vlog, and they needed some they needed some support because they didn't know how to start. So I wrote back and said to them, well, where's your fear? Do you have a fear of the technical side of it? Do you have a fear of where exactly is the fear? And the interesting thing was that they had a fear of what would they talk about. Well, whenever I trained people who told me, or talked to people who told me they wanted to become a professional speaker, the first question I would ask is, what do you want to talk about? And if they said, I don't know, I'd say to them, come back when you know. I mean, I'll give you a few pointers in the meantime, but quite honestly, unless you know what you're going to talk about, there's no point in doing it. There's no point in doing it because it's a very stressful thing to do, and if you're not passionate about the subject matter, and if you don't even know what the subject matter is, never mind be passionate about it, it's not going to work for you. And I've encouraged quite a few of my viewers to start their own channels, and some have been doing that and having great fun with it. But you see, the reality is that it has to be somebody who has a passion for wanting to do it, or for a particular subject. Now, if you don't know what it is you want to do, then it's too early. You know, when you look at it and you go, well, Judy really knew she wanted to talk about makeup because she was into it in a big way. Benji knew he wanted to talk about food because he was into cooking and food in a big way. Now he's, obviously what he knows today is far, far greater than when he started, because just because he was doing it, he learnt a lot. You know what I mean? Just the very fact he was doing the vlog caused him to research more and do more. So he's much more knowledgeable today than he was, I'm sure, when he started. So, as is Judy, I'm sure. And so, I look at that and I go, sometimes the reason you haven't done something is because you're actually not ready. And it may not be just an excuse, it's the fact that you're not actually, you don't want to do it that badly. And so my experience was, I actually didn't want to vlog at all, now that I think about it. I'm really going to mess my own mind up here. When I started YouTube, I really did. It wasn't because I wanted to. It was because Benji wanted me to. And he just set me up and said, okay, there you go, you've got a YouTube channel. And I said, what do I do with it? And he said, well, you'll work it out. But here's the interesting point. What Benji knew is I absolutely love to share knowledge. Hopefully that it helps people, but I don't say, oh, it must be proven that I help people. I love to share what knowledge I have been given, because I think the knowledge I've been given has been a great gift. And I really appreciate it. And so therefore it's important for me to share them. So really what I did was, oh, well, that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about some of those excuses another day. All right, everybody, have a great day, and thank you for traveling this journey with me. This is just a little bit of wit and wisdom from the woman you all know as DearMamaSal. So we're here at a place that you guys have seen once before, I think, with Marni. Hello. Say hi to the peeps, Marn.
Hello.
And, of course, me. And we're going to have a quick dinner here, so we'll catch up with you a bit later.